Carson always believed that for every risk in engineering, there must be a fail-safe. When he finally ventured out to start his own firm, this philosophy wasn't reserved for blueprints and steel. It became the backbone of his business strategy. He chose the protection of an LLC, understanding that its power as a shield was only as strong as his discipline. Bank accounts remained surgically separate. Every expense was meticulously documented. When colleagues blurred the line between business and personal, Carson quietly watched. He knew the consequences of shortcuts hidden beneath the surface. But Carson's caution was just the beginning. Blake and Jennifer, husband and wife, saw legal protection as not just a defensive mechanism, but a structural system. Carson created an engineering firm, front and center, bearing their professional reputation. Yet, in the background, Blake and Jennifer founded a separate management company. This company, wholly owned by them, was not an idle shell. It provided legitimate services, administration, payroll, compliance oversight, services the engineering firm needed and paid for every month. To the outside world, the engineering firm hummed with activity, contracts signed, bridges designed, invoices sent. Yet, behind these transactions was a calculated process. Every month, like the tick of a finely engineered clock, funds left the engineering firm and entered the management company as management fees. This was not sleight of hand. It was business, documented and justified with contracts, market comparative rates, and itemized service logs. The importance of this structure wasn't tested in the boardroom. It was tested in crisis. Months later, a significant error surfaced in one of the engineering firm's projects. A miscalculation, buried in routine assumptions, led to a bridge's delayed opening. A client, facing public scrutiny and financial losses, brought a massive lawsuit against the engineering firm. The court awarded a judgment that would have shattered most small companies. Creditors descended swiftly. They audited assets, bank accounts, and future receivables. But when they reached the vault, expecting a trove of cash, they found it nearly empty. The chairs belonged to the firm, the computers too, but the majority of cash reserves had already been paid out, documented as legitimate management fees to the separate management company. Blake and Jennifer's management company was not the subject of the lawsuit. Its income, having been fairly earned through demonstrable administrative services, was untouchable. There was no intermingling, no shortcut, just clean, compliant separation. The creditor, despite the legal victory, left with far less than anticipated, unable to pierce the carefully constructed barrier. For Carson, it was a lesson in the real meaning of engineering. It was never just about withstanding forces. It was about recognizing where pressure, financial or physical, was likely to hit, and designing a structure that keeps collapse localized. For Blake and Jennifer, the storm had proven the worth of their business architecture. The engineering firm absorbed the blow. Their personal finances and the assets in the management company weathered the storm untouched. The lesson echoed in each owner's mind. It's not just how much you earn. It's about where that money lives when the storm arrives.